My older brother is somewhat useless, but my parents love him. He mooches off of everyone. My dad retired a few years ago and can no longer afford to support my brother in his stupidity. So over the last 5 years, I've lent my brother about $10,000, and he's paid me back roughly $600. Well, he's getting married, and he needs money for a honeymoon, like $2,000, which I can afford, but I don't really feel like lending him money because I know I won't get it back. I said no. He kept calling me and texting me, saying that his fiancée deserved a good honeymoon and that I should help him out. I pointed out that my parents paid for his degree and I had to go into debt to get mine because they had nothing left for me after he took 6 years to graduate, and that he still owes me $9,400. Finally, he got my parents to call me and ask for the money. LOL, I'm already in low contact with them. They owe me money too. They started trying to guilt me, that I'm his little sister and I should love him enough to help. Blah, blah, blah. After about a week of this crap, I lost it. I told them fine, I will meet him at their house and help him financially for the last time. I showed up and we sat down at the kitchen table. I pulled out all the contracts I made him sign when I lent him money. I also pulled out a printed copy of the check he paid me the $600 with. I said he had a choice. I could lend him $2,000, but they had to pay me back what he owed first, or I could tear up all of his debt and never lend him again. Huge fight. I'm an idiot for being so mercenary. How dare I treat family in such a transactional manner? Second, I'm a terrible person for letting him think I was going to help. Did I want to make them homeless by asking them for the $30,000 they owed me too? Blah, blah, blah. I said to call me when they decide. Now I'm getting crap from my family because they're telling everyone that I won't help out the family. I'm a terrible daughter and sister. So I started asking everyone how much they would pay for his honeymoon. No, we don't mean that we should help. Just you're his sister. Okay, which of you guys is paying off what he owes me already? Radio silence. But I found out from my cousin that they're all talking about me behind my back. LOL. I do feel kinda crappy for getting his hopes up though. Am I the idiot here? And it's not like I'm rich or anything. They borrowed my life savings. I'm slowly building it up again. I'm glad some of my money was in untouchable retirement funds. To be honest, they didn't borrow your life savings. You gave it away to them. It was a mistake to give away money you couldn't guarantee that you would get back. And now you're out $39,400. It would be best if you went full no contact with these people. You are the idiot to yourself. Why are you the family ATM? If his fiancée deserves a honeymoon, he should get off his butt and provide it. Amazing how generous leeches are with someone else's money. Do not lend any more money out. I could care less if your brother's fiancée deserves a nice honeymoon. That's his problem. And if she doesn't like it, well, that's too bad. You are surrounded by idiots and leeches. Don't let them guilt you. They're just toxic. Not the idiot. Even if you had shown up to the house with the $2,000 and burned it in front of them. I mean, that's basically what you would be doing if you handed it over to them anyways. We're talking about a grown man begging you and having mommy and daddy beg you for a vacation. Your family dares to ask you for that? When they already owe you money? And when you say no, they claim that you're the one being transactional. Your family clearly favors your brother and his needs over yours. Get your money back. They don't care about you and will use you. Your brother's bad, but your parents made him and enabled him to become what he is today. They're all cut from the same cloth and will financially bankrupt you if you let them. So, in my opinion, take them all to court and take back the money they owe you and cut them from your life. You aren't a daughter or a sister. You're a wallet, not even a bank, because they feel entitled to your money and will never pay you back. I'm male 36, have a daughter, tween. 2 weeks ago, she got diagnosed with leukemia, all. I'm a single dad, and my wife passed away when our daughter was a baby. My mother-in-law, 60, lives 3 hours away, but comes to visit pretty often. My mother-in-law always wanted a girly daughter. My wife was not into traditionally girly things. Neither is my daughter. That doesn't stop mother-in-law from buying her dresses and other things she'll never use. About 5 days ago, daughter asked if she could maybe dye her hair since it'll fall out soon anyway. I figured why not? I talked to a friend who works at a salon. Now my daughter has super cool blue hair. She had the biggest smile when she saw her new cool hair. Mother-in-law came to visit yesterday. She freaked out when she saw my daughter's hair. She was saying my daughter had such beautiful blonde hair, and now it's ugly. My daughter became teary-eyed. Chemo has already been emotionally exhausting. She didn't need her grandma making comments like that. I made mother-in-law go in the hallway. We were at the hospital. I told her that it was wrong to call daughter ugly. She started saying, well, it is ugly. I cut her off and said, just leave then, if you aren't going to say anything nice. Well, she left and I hugged my daughter and told her that she was beautiful. I later got texts from my brother-in-law asking why I made my mother-in-law leave. I explained the situation, and brother-in-law said it was still an idiot move not to let mother-in-law see daughter when she's sick, and that I probably shouldn't let my tween have dyed her hair anyway. So, am I the idiot? Absolutely not the idiot. Your kid comes first before anyone else's feelings. It made your daughter feel better about herself when she wasn't feeling well. If your in-laws want to keep agreeing with your mother-in-law, then they can go skydiving without a parachute. Hope your daughter feels better. My God, if your in-laws are going to try to sap away any tiny amount of joy that child can still feel, then they better stay far, far away from her. I don't want them breathing in her direction. They have a choice here. Be nice or go the heck away. Ask your mother-in-law how she would feel if she got a new hairdo that she loved and you told her she looked ugly. If it's rude to say it to a grown-up, it's rude to say it to a child. I'm guessing your daughter doesn't want to see her grandma right now either. If and when she wants to see her again, you should talk with grandma firmly about what's appropriate to say to someone else. Seeing people is not a given right, and commenting on other people's looks is a safe way to get cut off. Bet your daughter is rocking that blue though. My mom recently told me, nearly adult female, that I should schedule a hair appointment because the ends of my hair were getting split. I called and they told me that they were all booked for the next month due to someone needing surgery and moving appointments around. I told my mom that, and she said she could do it, and I kind of decided, why not? I guess it's not good to have a ton of split ends. So she set up a chair and got the scissors and crap and began doing her work. I was scrolling through Instagram, but after the first 2 cuts, I noticed a massive amount of hair on the floor. So I asked her why there was so much hair on the floor, and she said my hair was really damaged. I got up and looked in a mirror, and she had cut it at basically my shoulders. For context, my hair is basically to my butt. So I asked her what the heck she was thinking, and she just repeated that it was damaged, like some malfunctioning spam call program. I looked at a few chunks of undamaged hair in the mirror, and there were 1, maybe 2 at the most, inches of split ends. I asked her why in the ever-living heck she had basically cut off 2 feet of hair for no reason, and she now said, I accidentally cut off a bit too much. I had to let her finish because there was already too much gone to do anything else about it, so she kept cutting and then claimed she had made it uneven by mistake, so she took even more off. In the end, I was basically left with a bob cut at my chin. I was really angry, so I grabbed my school stuff and a few clothes and drove to my dad's house. About an hour later, my mom came over to pick me up and take her car. My parents split the payments with me 50-50, so she doesn't own it, and told my dad it's my custody week and she's just being a typical upset teenager. My dad told her to go home or he was going to call the cops, so she left. But I got a nasty text, which summed up to, I tried to do something nice for you, and in return you violated your custody agreement with the car that I paid for. I told her I would be more than happy to return to her house if she cut her hair like mine. She also has really long hair, and she refused, so I'm just going to stay at my dad's for the time being. Not the idiot at all. First off, you, the child, cannot violate the custody agreement. It's between her and your father. In fact, based on your age, you likely have the power to adjust it to your liking were it ever to be addressed in court. Second, find out in whose name this car is, because I have a feeling this will not be the last time she declares that it's hers and tries to manipulate you with it. See if it can be in your father's name only. Third, I genuinely don't understand how someone can accidentally turn a dead end's trim into cutting off 2 feet of hair, and then she's just going to stand by her actions while saying she wouldn't want the same thing done to her hair. I hate to say it, but this seems intentional. Your mom needs help. Maybe if she had cut 1 to 2 inches off, realized it was crooked, and then tried to fix it by cutting off 1 to 2 inches more, that might have been a genuine mistake. But going from her butt to her shoulders was clearly deliberate. Unfortunately, this seems like jealousy or some other unresolved issues. Your hair is an extension of yourself, and she took it upon herself to literally chop up your trust in her by cutting off all your hair, and worse, being unapologetic about it and petty. Glad your dad is there for you. And in the meantime, they make amazing extensions for affordable prices now if you need some camouflage. I had a bad haircut from a salon and had to do this. I, 27 male, am the owner of a property that was formerly my grandpa's house. My grandpa was a farmer, and he had this awesome property built whenever my mom and her sisters were in high school. This was the family house. My grandpa built a giant garage on it, which my cousins have used as a reception hall for the last few years for their weddings. When my grandma died, my grandpa and I started hanging out more, and I worked at the property since I was little. I'm the only grandson he had. All my cousins on my mom's side are girls. In 2018, my grandpa passed away, and he left the property to me. This caused a bunch of drama in the family, but I know exactly why my grandpa did it. My grandpa was not a perfect person. He was very old-fashioned. He hated divorce and was very traditional. His beliefs clashed with his daughter's. He wanted to hand his farm down to a son. He didn't have any, and none of my aunts married the type of dudes he liked. So I became the de facto option. My grandpa especially disliked how my aunts were in their relationship because he preached commitment. On the other hand, that man loved and was loyal to my grandma. My cousin, 28 female, is getting married this fall. While at my parents' house, my aunt goes, "Well, the reception will be at the house." I told her nobody had talked to me yet. She said that since every other cousin had their reception there, it should be a tradition. I said sure, but they all asked me and I wanted them there. Unfortunately, her daughter didn't ask me and I don't support the wedding. It's a legit reason. This is my cousin's second wedding. I'm not even close with her. We differ politically, so I've muted her on social media. I didn't even know she was engaged. This cousin and I hardly speak. Also, this is her second marriage. She cheated on her first husband with this dude who was also married. My grandpa would never approve of that or want that on his property. Also, I would have to be involved in the setup and cleanup if it's at the house. I don't care to sacrifice my time. If she wants to rent the property and my time, she can pay me a premium for the short notice, but I'm not doing it for free. I explained this all to my aunt and my cousin. They both threw a fit and tried having my mom talk to me. She tried pulling the family card and guilting me about my cousin having no money. I said my cousin had no money because of her divorce. It's a sham wedding, and her dad wouldn't support it, and she knows that. There was a reason that her dad didn't entrust the property to his own kids. I said all my other cousins had been good people, so I was willing to help. But this cousin and aunt are rude. My mom said I wouldn't be invited to Christmas, most likely then. I said, okay, find another venue while you're at it. The house is the hangout spot for Christmas. My dad is calling me an idiot, but I need an impartial judgment. Am I the idiot? Everyone's the idiot here. You suck for using your grandpa's misogynistic and bigoted views as an excuse for not wanting your family to use your home. And if you agree with his views, you're the idiot for that too. Your aunt sucks for just expecting you to be okay with having a wedding and reception at your house without asking. Your mom sucks for thinking she can just uninvite you to a gathering in your own home. At this point, your whole family needs help. I agree up until the point where OP mentions that the cousin getting married is wedding her affair partner. I think that's a legitimate thing to shame. Screw cheaters. That's a good enough reason to deny their use alone. You all, OP can be an idiot for his views on marriage, gender roles, etc., but not the idiot for the specific situation at hand and denying his entitled, crappy family member use of his property. He can be both. Disagree. OP, you are the idiot. Though your family is acting a bit entitled, you have the right to use the property how you want and tell people they can't use it or have to pay to use it. However, this is, am I the idiot, not do I have the legal right? You got your property because your grandfather appeared to have regressive, misogynistic views, not because you did anything worthy of attaining it. You seem to have carried on these viewpoints and additionally seem to be relishing in turning the screws on your family instead of playing ball, extra money for short notice, plus labor like it's a true reception venue. In most circumstances, they would be the idiots for expecting a free venue, but that's trumped by your behavior and bigotry here. The fact that your grandfather wouldn't have wanted it doesn't matter because he's dead now. And frankly, he sounds like a jerk, at least in terms of some of his views. I can't imagine anybody hateful enough to disinherit his children over such stupid, trivial things effectively. Maybe they inherited something else from him, but I doubt it was worth anywhere near what that property was. I, 30 female, have an adorable young daughter with my ex-boyfriend, 32. We broke up when she was a toddler, and we share 50-50 custody. Childcare during the global issue was not a big problem, since I used to work from home. After we got back to work, we put her in after-school daycare/childcare. Her school lets out at 2:30 p.m. The center is in school, and she stays there until one of us picks her up, usually no later than 6 p.m. We used to split the cost, 50-50. About 2 months ago, I landed a job with a great benefits package, one of which includes an on-site daycare. When it's my days with her, I take about 40 minutes to drive her to school and back to work. That means I have to stay an extra 40 minutes at work to make up for it. Since I stopped paying half of our old daycare, my ex now has to pay all of it, which is not a small amount. He asked if I could have her in my on-site daycare every day. At first I said okay, as long as he dropped her off. I don't want to stay 40 minutes after 5 p.m. every day. He said that he couldn't get off work to drive her to me. It'll take him an hour to do that. So I told him he could drop her off at my work, or he could keep paying for daycare. He says I'm an idiot. Am I? Not the idiot. The dude can't even bother to drive her. He can pay if he doesn't want the inconvenience. If he wants to enjoy the privilege of utilizing your work daycare on his custody days, then he needs to figure out how to get her there. It's extremely unreasonable of him to demand that you rearrange your work days to save him money. You are the idiot. You changed the plans on him and shoved the full cost of the daycare back to him. This is not how you do it. Flip everything around, and you would be angry too. It's one thing if the after-school program could cut the cost in half for only half time, but since they can't, and you pay to keep her spot even on the weeks when she's not there, you made the decision not to use the daycare those weeks, and you should continue to pay for your half. Also, what's best for your child? Is it to be in 2 different daycare centers or to be in one? I feel like this could bite you in the butt. You're so selfish.